You are watching the Waterman Podcast. Yes, welcome everyone to episode 2 of the Waterman Podcast. It is my great pleasure today. It's a big one, folks. It is my great pleasure today. I'm so excited. I can't even say the words. To bring this living legend here today. Thanks, Cameron, for making it happen. We have the great living legend, Robby Robinson. Robby, thanks for coming to the show.
Awesome.
Robby, I mean, you are someone that is like on my list of living legends. Thanks for coming down to the program. And you have a long history of this bodybuilding field. Robby, can you tell us when you first started lifting iron? You remember when the first time you started lifting?
I think my first encounter with physical activity was with Jack LaLanne. And he was jumping every morning, so I got up and started jumping too. And by the time I was probably 7, 8, maybe 12 years old, I was already into weight training and already seeing that, my body was responding to it, so I just kept doing that.
Very good. So now, Robby, tell me, when did you realize, it's like, hey, wait a minute, you know what? I think I got something here. When did it dawn on you? Like, hey, wait a minute, I think I got
I
something.
think it's probably about 12 to 13 years old. I would say 12 to 13 years old, and I realized that I was starting to feel a certain muscle pump. I felt more confident in what I was trying to do. I wanted to be the next Jim Brown. So I, got into sports in high school, kept lifting weights to, just help my performance. And, I went on, became everything in football in high school and 150 some scholarships to go to other universities to play football. But I just fell in love with bodybuilding. And I pursued it from an athlete standpoint all the way up into, my own life story, documentary, books, interviews, movies. It's totally unexpected, but, that's just what comes out of, I guess you believe it in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, what was the response from your family and friends when you said to them, hey, you know what? I'm going to try this bodybuilding thing here. I'm going to try this out. What was the reaction?
You're talking about in the 50s? It was totally taboo. I mean, no black man gonna be running around lifting weights and building no muscle.
With underwear, wearing underwear, right?
They were not gonna tell you, okay, well, go ahead for that. They added other names to that you probably, I don't want to announce online live.
Yeah, on the Waterman podcast.
Waterman, it was just like not where you would want to be. You would want to be in there talking about you're gonna be on no muscle. Look at you like you're crazy.
So now, can you remember, Robby, when people now started to take you seriously in the game? It's like you're doing it, you're winning. When did you feel like, okay, now they're taking me seriously? Before they thought I was playing, but now they take me seriously.
Well, when they saw that I was starting to compete and win titles, pretty much that, at that point in that time period, no black man is going to be doing that. But I was out there doing it, winning. They would place me 5th and give me all the body part awards. Or they would place me 3rd and give me all the body part awards. And, you have to deal with that aspect of it because that's just where it is. No black man is going to be up there winning no titles. When I came in and started winning titles, won the Mr. Florida, Mr. Southeastern United States, 5th in the Mr. America, won the Most Muscular Man Award in America. And then I started taking it real serious. But when people saw me doing this and winning and becoming a winner, they talked that down too.
They
You
tried to
know, you ain't gonna
downplay
be
it. They
nothing.
tried
You
to
ain't gonna never.
downplay your gifts, your
Yeah,
talents,
they you
your
know,
physique.
it was just a time period. It was that time period. Nobody believed that nobody, especially no black man, gonna be no Mr. America or completing a Mr. America. That ain't gonna happen. But I was one of those guys that just chased my dream. I didn't even think about it. I didn't listen to it. If I had, I wouldn't be here today. But I think if you realize what your dream is and you believe in yourself enough, anything is possible.
Very well said. Very, very well said. Now, can you remember that feeling when you won your first title, when you started your first title? You remember that you
When I
know.
won my first title, Southeastern United States, I won the competition plus all the body part awards: best arm, best legs, most muscular, best back, best chest. And you know, it just wasn't something that would happen. And the promoter of the event got attacked by the people that were in the audience. And of course, I hate to use this word, but the word was, you know, how do you let that nigga win all them titles? How you let him win all them trophies? And the guy, one thing I can remember saying, I mean, him being a white promoter, he said, that nigga was just that good. I loved it. I thought that was heavy. I mean, you asked me to come here to do this interview. I'm telling you point blank, that's how it was.
We're keeping it real here,
You know what I mean?
folks.
Hey,
We're
I'm keeping it real. Seriously. I mean, it was not going to happen. And, you know, after I won all the awards and was leaving the show, they were all still coming out there, still using that N word, cursing me out, cursing all my friends out. And I just told them, you know, shut up and just walk on out the door. Let's make it to the car. We got to be out of town before sundown. Well, that was a true fact. I mean, you know, in those days, people don't realize what I saw was you were coming into these areas and there were signs on the trees overlooking the alligator pond. And on those signs it said point blank, nigga, don't let me get you caught here after sundown. I mean, people don't realize that kind of thing can can create bad feelings in people. But I just told my friend, chill out. Let's get out of town before sundown. I mean, that's, you know, it's reality. You can't. It's inescapable. It's no sense in getting mad at it about it. I mean, that's just how it is. You have to either be strong enough to deal with it or get out of it. I was strong enough to deal with it. I love it to this day, and I would do it until I probably more than likely would be doing a curl and kind of say, "Okay, quit," and go to sleep. Go to sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, Robbie, what was it like, if you can recall that first day when you made up your mind and said, you know what, I'm going to go to California?
It was after I won the Mr. Florida, because I am from Tallahassee, Florida. I was from Florida. I'm a Florida boy, from the swamps. My whole life I was spending with poor white people, Indians, and poor blacks. That's how I grew up. I never heard the word nigger. It didn't come out in that kind of craziness. Everybody was poor. Everybody lived with each other. Everybody helped each other. That's how I grew up. Black, white, and Indians. Nobody complained. I mean, if I wanted some alligator here, well, I know to go to the Indian. Okay. If I wanted rabbits and squirrels and deers and, you know, wild game, you know, she basically went to the poor white people, because they knew how to do all of that. And the Indians, well, you're definitely talking fishing, you're definitely talking deer meat. So that's how I grew up eating, you know, off the land, not going to a grocery market. Everything was grown in the garden.
So now, Robbie, when you finally decided you're going to go to California, can you remember that first day that you are actually walking inside of the legendary, I've got much love for that gym, Golds Gym Venice, that legendary Golds Gym Venice. You remember that feeling?
Thrilled. I was thrilled about the fact to be able to go in there and train with Arnold Schwarzenegger, Danny Gaber, Ed Coyne, Franco Colombo, Kenny Waller, Bob Birdsong. I was in the mix. And I just felt that, you know, being in that mix would help me become better, which it did. And working with those guys, you know, improve my ability to become better. Also, being in that atmosphere changes your whole mindset. So I was lucky to be able to be in that, in that atmosphere.
Now, some people may know this, some maybe they don't know. But there is a logo of Joe Weider, and it's actually your physique that is attached to Joe Weider's head. Can you talk about that? Or it's a legendary.
I posed for the Weider bust. The Weider bust was my physique and my body was supposed to be the monument for all Weider publication, Weider factors and companies all over the world. And when I posed for the bust, my head was on the bust. It was my body. During the unveiling of the bust for the company executives from all over the world, Joe Weider's head was on my body. I was shocked, stunned.
I was just about to say, what was your reaction?
Speechless, really. I couldn't even. I couldn't even speak. But that's, that was, in that time period, who I was, nobody's going to support you. If you go and take something like that to court, the court is not going to support you, and they didn't support that. I mean, he was a rich man worth what, $400 million. They're not going to let no poor black guy come in there and, sue him. But I went through the lawsuit, and they wouldn't allow they wouldn't allow it. They just kind of just brushed it off. That's when I realized that the overall judicial system is biased. A lot of the athletes out there that are talking and being like, I would even bring up Yee. I mean, you get up in there, those people make your paycheck. Kyle Irwin, all those guys talking like that. You can talk like that, but you're forgetting one thing. Somebody else make your paycheck. I mean, it's okay to speak out, but speak out in a way that don't hurt yourself. Losing 1.2 million like overnight, that's just crazy. And for somebody to be suspended from the game because they speak out in a sense, speak out, but, have a curve on it. Say what you're going to say, but you don't have to go into a level where it's going to hurt your own.
It's how you say it, the delivery.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree with that.
Make that
it's
statements,
the delivery.
but then at the same time realize that if you make those statements, it's going to hurt you. It don't make sense to me. I wouldn't. Yeah.
And also, can you tell us about what was it like that first day when you were filming Pumping Iron with Arnold?
Well, that's a whole nother story. Filming the movie Pumping Iron was like, the best physiques in the world is in this movie, or this documentary. And, we were all in great shape. But the thing of it was that what they tried to do with me was say, don't flex. Don't pose. I would flex and pose anyway.
That's funny.
But see, you have to kind of revel in your own way, but you don't always have to be verbal. So you can do it physically. At that point, I could do it physically. And they didn't like it, but it made the movie look good. You understand what I'm saying? So my whole thing on that, take on that was that the movie was made around to build Arnold Schwarzenegger's career, not Robby Robinson's career, who was I was just a rookie. But the thing of it is, I had such a great physique, they couldn't be denied.
That's a very good point. And I can remember, first of all, let me just rewind the tape here. I was like in the early 80s. I heard about Golds Gym when I was a kid in school, because one of my classmates wanted to grow up to be a bodybuilder. And I heard him talk about this famous gym in California called Golds Gym Venice. So I actually heard of Golds Gym Venice before I heard of Arnold Schwarzenegger or any other bodybuilder. So it was later on, one day, halfway through the Pumping Iron documentary, I'm there as a kid watching TV, and I caught the tail end towards Pumping Iron. And still I saw Arnold, but it was later on when I was able to put the name with the face. So, and I saw you, I can remember as a kid, I remember I saw you there, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm just there trying to search out. I say, okay, I see one black person there. I'm thinking, to myself as a little kid, okay, let me see if I can see another black person there in the crowd. It's like when you were coming over to celebrate. I think Arnold had like a party over his house or something like that scene. So I can remember, as a kid searching, trying to see if I can find some other black people there, and stuff. And then you looked fantastic in that documentary. And then there are pictures of you from the 70s and 80s. And you remind me a lot of my father, because my father was a competitive bodybuilder back in the early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to ask you, when Pumping Iron was finally released, how did the public respond to seeing you in Pumping Iron?
Well, the bodybuilding community was inspired by myself by this point because of the fact of the movie Pumping Iron. I mean, because of the movie, my winning the Night of the Champions in New York. Mm-hmm. So if I won the Night of the Champions in New York, everything was built in somewhat around that movie. Mm-hmm. So my winning the Night of the Champions propelled the movie. It made my career. I got exhibitions and seminars and tours all over the world.
Mm-hmm. And then even up to today, Robby can still be seen at Golds Gym Venice, Pumping Iron.
Oh yeah, love the pump iron.
And I love the fact that the message that guys like Robby, Arnold Schwarzenegger and company, Sly Stallone, Lou Ferrigno, I love the message that they're showing everyone, especially the seniors. You don't have to use your age as an excuse not to work out, not to train. Look at those guys. They're looking fantastic. It's like a very, very great example of, hey, you know what? You can be over 70 years old and still get it in,
Oh, yeah. Your health is your wealth. I think that's, when you're healthy, then you're wealthy. Mm-hmm. I will always take care of myself. I think it's very important to do so. I don't think age should be anything as an excuse for anything. If you can get up and move, you can get up and move.
Mm-hmm. That is very true. That is very true. And the thing about it, Robby, is that you have a hidden treasure that I discovered the first time I saw you at Golds Gym Venice. That voice of yours. You have that golden voice. Hollywood, if you are listening, give brother Robby a call. This guy has the perfect voice for voiceover work. And this is like untapped treasures, in my opinion.
Yeah, I always admired James Earl Jones. He's my admirer. I admire him because of the use of his voice, and his voice that has, made the background for a lot of movies, even some that I haven't seen. So I think it's an honor for someone to have a good voice. Yeah, definitely.
Very true. Before we leave, I just want to show the public this very, very nice T-shirt here that I got, Jerry West. Just want to show it off a little bit to the people. And bought it at Sports Center Trend on Hollywood Boulevard, compliments of them. So I just want to show this cool T-shirt here. Check this out here. This is nice.
Black Mamba.
This is Jerry West.
Yeah, Jerry West.
With a little
number 44.
Kobe, a little slash of Kobe on there that I added to the mix. But go down there and check them out.
Oh yeah,
Sports
definitely.
Center Trend on Hollywood Boulevard. So, the great Robby Robinson, thanks for coming on.
Definitely.
A pleasure. We must do it again in the very near future.
Yeah.
And
I wish you both all the same success.
Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing, Robby.
Oh yeah,
we love you.
Bro. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me on.
No problem.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you for watching the Waterman Podcast.